all doing well despite every adversity that came along the way. This is Ariel Fernandez Jr. and here with me is my friend. Hi Jillian, it's good to see you again for a long time. How have you been?
Hello Ariel and hello everyone. I am doing great. How about you? How have you been?
Well, to be honest, I am a bit busy because of the hectic schedule in school, but thankfully I can still manage. And Jillian, can I just say that you look very fabulous today?
Oh, thank you. You look good by the way.
Thank you. Well, anyway, we are here today because we are going to talk about one of the most famous poem in Romantic period, which is I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth.
Yes, and we are very excited to share an analysis of this very beautiful masterpiece. But before discussing anything, let us give some introduction about the poet of the poem. So the person behind I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud was William Wordsworth. He was born in Lake District of Northern England, the second of 5 children of the modestly prosperous estate manager. He lost his mother when he was 7 and his father when he was 13, upon which the orphan boys were sent to their uncles to a grammar school of Hawkshead, a village in the heart of Lake District. At Hawkshead, Wordsworth received an excellent education in classics, literature, and mathematics, after which he studied at Cambridge. That's all for the short introduction of the author. Ariel, can you share us a little bit about the background of the poem?
Sure, so this poem, or I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, is one of the best loved poems of the fountainhead of Romanticism, William Wordsworth. This poem features how the spontaneous emotions of the poets, the energetic dance of the daffodils help him pen down this sweet little piece, and it recaptures a moment on April 15, 1802, where Wordsworth and his sister Dorothy came across a host of daffodils around the Glencoe Bay in the Lake District. This event was the inspiration behind the composition of Wordsworth's lyric poem.
So this poem is based on experiences or a real-life scenario.
Yes, exactly. And the daffodils, or I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, has been dissected methodologically for illustrating the poet's mood, surrounding location, and the allegorical meanings and the beauty of nature in full motion. The poet's love and proximity with nature have inspired and moved generations after generations of poetry lovers and young minds.
So now, for the good part, we will now talk about our analysis with regard to the themes that emerged or emanated from this poem. Ariel, let's talk about it with you first.
Okay, so one of the themes that emanated from this poem is nature and humanity. So I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, one of the most prominent masterpieces of romantic poetry, explores the relationship between nature and humans, and it accomplishes this by emphasizing 2 crucial elements. To begin with, it asserts that humans is not distinct from nature, but rather an integral part of it. Second, it implies that a close connection to the natural world is necessary for human happiness. Though the title's idea of seclusion may deceive the reader, this is an upbeat poem with a good attitude on life. The speaker's enjoyment is drawn from his interaction with nature, which encourages the reader to appreciate the natural beauty that surrounds them.
Yes, exactly. In the first line of the poem, it establishes the concept of loneliness. Although the speaker is not truly alone, the speaker is surrounded by a host of golden daffodils, whose grateful dancing in the breeze has left a lasting imprint in his mind. This setup establishes a bond between human, represented by the speaker, and nature, represented daffodils. Although the personification of the daffodils runs throughout the poem, they are dancing in every stanza of the speaker preemptively throws this personification of its head in the first line. The speaker compares himself with a natural element, which is the cloud.
Ah, I get it. So you mean to say that the poem's human component resembles nature, while the natural component resembles humanity, and in a word, they're together, right?
Precisely, that is what I am implying.
Okay, another thing that I noticed in the poem, particularly in the connection between nature and humanity, is that it implies that this bond is instinctive and that it's sometimes only apparent in retrospect. It's apparent that the speaker was struck by the beauty of the daffodils right away, which is why he stared and gazed. But it wasn't until later, when the experience flashed back in his mind, that he recognized its full meaning. The speaker uses the sensation of the daffodils as an avenue to happiness in this tranquil moment. That is, everything the daffodils represent, joy, playfulness, survival, and beauty, fills the speaker with bliss and pleasure. And the speaker is once again dancing with the daffodils. The poem is emphasizing that the communication with nature is more than a momentary pleasure, but rather something deeper and more lasting.
Well, I have to say that as a reader, I am left with a distinct impression that the speaker would be diverted to a genuine loneliness if this type of experiences with nature will not present. Anyway, stanza 2 and 3 also make it apparent to the reader that above mentioned unity is not about daffodils but about nature in general. The stars and the glittering waves are also mentioned, implying a web of connection between the natural worlds and the smaller, less obvious parts like daffodils, humanity like speaker, and the larger universe, the stars. All are depicted as elements of nature. Despite their differences, they are all harmony with one another. People must, however, make an effort to notice this and emerge with the natural environment in the same way our speaker does.
Yeah, based on what you said, we can really tell that the poem is an argument for active engagement with nature. It is a message that it is arguably even more essential now than it was at the time, given the humanity's wide-ranging effects on the world it inhabits. Now, if I may ask, what are other themes you think emanated from this poem?
Okay, so other than nature and humanity, I think that memory and imagination is also the theme of this poem. I Wonder Lonely as a Cloud contains the experience, imagination, and language are closely intertwined. The poem is a memory focusing on using the concentrated power of imagination to bring the speaker's experiences of viewing daffodils back to life. The imagination, like nature, was an important aspect of Romanticism poetic real, and the speaker in this poem demonstrates how powerful imagination, using the inward eye of the mind, can bring back pleasant memories, produce delight in the present, and even pass joy unto others.
I would have to agree with you, and the poem also told in retrospectively, with all the verbs until the final stanza. The speaker is reflecting on a former experience, and as a result, the speaker is attempting to not only recall an experience, but also to give it a fresh life through the imagination. The speaker wants to not only acknowledge the experience, but also to re-experience it and recreate the same emotion.
Also, in that poem, the speaker and the reader must collaborate in order to achieve the goal. The speaker tries to bring the daffodils experience to life, and the reader encouraged to use their imagination to help them do so. The reader encouraged to utilize their inward eye as described by the speaker in the final line. This interplay between the speaker and the reader's imagination is mostly dependent to the daffodils personification that runs throughout the poem. The speaker depicts the daffodils as having human traits, which are meant to be imagined rather than understood literally. The dancing of the daffodils, which is mentioned in every stanza, is essentially merely the effect of the wind. However, dancing is intrinsically pleasurable activity.
Yes, and the speaker notices visual similarities between the daffodils' movement and dance, and this imaginative leap strengthens the speaker's bond with the experience. In other words, imagining the daffodils dancing allows the speaker to feel more alive by seeing the life around them. The speaker also shows that the human emotions on the daffodils, jocund company, which means cheerful, and the daffodils, of course, do not perceive the world in this way. Rather, the speaker is seeing their own state of mind reflected in the visual effect of the flowers. The speaker's connection to the nature is perhaps strengthened as a result of this mental leap, and the reader is then asked to go through the same process as the poet. And the reason for this can be seen in the final stanza. The speaker here defines himself as being in a vacant or pensive mood, which means he is disengaged and detached from the outside world. Of course, the speaker's imagination saves him. The vision of the daffodils flashes back to him, and the speaker imaginatively returns to the daffodils and dances with them.
The poem then goes to explain that such imaginative effort can also benefit the reader. Encouragement of the reader's imagination serve as justification for the previous use of personification, conceptualization, and lyrical language. These selections were made to engage the reader's imagination in experiencing the daffodils, not only to describe them. Throughout the speaker concept creativity to happiness, highlighting its ability to bring memories to life. It's not only, if not back to life, at least into a new life. The speaker and eventually the reader's imagination carry on the daffodils' experiences. I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud is thus an imaginative attempt to not only recreate but also extend the speaker's experiences into the reader's thoughts. The poem contends that this process is a vital aspect of what it means to be human, moreover happy.
Wow, and I think that ends our analysis on the poem. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on the poem's theme, Jillian. I really had some fun, and I think we really had a healthy exchange of thoughts in this matter.
Yeah, thank you. Also, thank you for sharing me your thoughts. I really hope we can still analyze more poems soon. Anyways, before ending this, let me ask you one more thing. After reading and giving an analysis on the poem, what do you think is the relevance of this in our lives?
Upon reflecting on the message of the poem, I think that it does have so much relevance into our lives. This poem is very timely and relevant to the current situation that we are experiencing right now. With all the adversity that came along the way, we can really rely to nature when we need to have time for relaxation. Just like in the poem, our relationship with nature, how much we notice, think about and appreciate our natural surrounding is a critical factor in supporting good mental health and preventing distress. Nature is an important need for many and vital in keeping us emotionally, psychologically, and physically healthy. And in the poem, the speakers gain so much relaxation from looking to the dancing daffodils. If we are to relate it into our lives, nature can generate a multitude of positive emotions such as calmness, joy, creativity, and can even facilitate concentration. We just really need to appreciate its beauty. And how about you, Jillian? What do you think is its relevant to our lives?
Okay, I think that as humans, it is natural for us to feel alone or lonely when we are isolated from others. However, this loneliness makes us think negatively about ourselves and to the world. When we feel lonely, we often tend to beat ourselves up and think that something is wrong with us. The more alone we feel, the more we start to have thoughts of not belonging or feeling rejected by others. Unfortunately, feeling lonely can trigger thoughts that we are unloved and unlikable. However, despite our loneliness, we have our imagination to make us feel good about our life. As we remember something beautiful, it completely changes our mindset. Once we have the image of beauty, we're always able to recall it, allowing ourselves to revisit the moments of happiness. This mindset would show us that there are always good things in our lives to remember or to look forward to, no matter how small they are.
Wow, and I think that wraps up our talk and analysis on the poem. Jillian, I really had a nice time, and I do hope to see you in another analysis or discourse. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well, and to the viewers of this video. We do hope that you have learned something. I am Jillian S. Balones.
And this is Ariel Al Fernandez Jr. wishing you to be happy and healthy. Bye
Bye,
guys, stay safe.
Mwah.